Hello, good morning. Get some of these windows out. Yay, we are live. Just want to make sure all this. Uh-oh, there we go. All right. All right. Hello, everyone. If you're watching live, comment live. If you're watching the replay, comment replay. Good morning. Good morning to everyone. It is a beautiful, what is this, Tuesday? Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Masterclass. It's a masterclass today. Get my hair fluffed out. It won't be all stiff. Yes. Okay. If you're watching live, comment live. Let's bring the energy. Let's bring it. Can y'all hear me okay? Can you see me okay? I hope you got your notebooks. I hope you got your stuff. I hope you get your things. Let's make it happen. What is this? Oh. Okay. Yay. You can hear me? Okay, good. Very good. Now, everybody, I think some of you got a worksheet that's for you to hold on your own to do your work after this. The worksheet that came with the signing up for the class. That is for your practice and for you to kind of shell out and shave out the manifestation process. I'm Coach Jay. This is your first time joining me. Welcome to the live. This is going to be on to be able to access here on the platform here on YouTube, so you can take a look at it anytime if you miss it. But we will make it undisclosed. I'm sorry, unlisted in a few days. So you have a few days to catch up on the replay, and then we're going to sunset it for behind the gate. So where are you all tuning in from? Where are you all tuning in from? Where are you watching from? I would love to know. Let me know. This may be a pretty, about an hour and a half. Some of y'all have asked, like, how long is it going to be? Probably an hour and a half. For sure. So, you know how I like to dig in, and sometimes I'm kind of going up. So, we have New York. We have Dayton, Ohio. Yay. I love it. I'm in Tennessee, y'all. Memphis. But yeah, grew up in Memphis, Tennessee, and lived in Houston, Texas, which is where my kid was born. New York, Georgia. Love that. Love that. Love that. All right. Everybody kind of trickling in, trying to get their bearings. I know it's early. I've been able to rest up for today. Getting ready to go on a sprint with this content. I'm very excited about it. Detroit, Michigan. I love it. I love it. I heard Detroit is doing very well. That's what I've heard. I remember back in the day, Detroit used to like struggle a little bit. But I heard Detroit is looking absolutely fantastic, which is amazing. I've been there once and I loved it when I went up there. It is so awesome. I got my, where's my, y'all know I gotta have my books and everything with me so that if I need to, that's amazing. I love that. I love that. Okay, let's get started. Let's get started. We are going to jump into, go ahead and, all right. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, so I got all my stuff together. All right, y'all. So we're gonna talk about manifestation. And to be fair, manifestation is just the actualization from a mental state. Memphis, Tennessee. Hey, Camille. From the state of the mental. Okay, so that means the evidence before it gets here. Right? So manifestation is the evidence before it is materialized. Okay? So that's, you already know it's here, but it hasn't materialized as of yet. Okay? So you're manifesting all the time. All right? You want to make sure that's clear before we really get to moving in. Okay? As a coach, as a woman who has coached hundreds and hundreds of women, in my containers, workshops, master classes. Obviously, I've been coaching for a long time, in a corporate sense as well as in a business ownership sense. I've been coaching from a business perspective probably since 2014, 2015. And then I took a break from the business ownership, went back to corporate, and was still coaching teams and coaching my team, preparing them for leadership positions and promotions. I've worked with some of the world's largest organizations, included but not limited to Manpower Group Solutions. I've recruited for Bureau Veritas, NRG Energy, TXU Energy, a lot of energy places, right? Vistar. I have a very long catalog of companies that I've partnered with and actually won accounts and things like that. My first sales experience was in the recruiting industry, where I was actively involved in the account development process and account management process. Oh, and also DuPont. DuPont, I used to recruit and place people there as well, engineers, operators, all kinds of stuff. So oil rigs, like Texas was big with oil and gas and engineering. Used to recruit all those to professional services as well. But then I became intrigued about the getting back out there as an entrepreneur. So my first business was a coaching business, and then my second business was a recruiting agency. That was actually pretty successful. I had a business partner and everything. I used to recruit for Exxon, Halliburton, if you know who owns Halliburton, Dick Cheney. Let's see here. Energy was one of we were a subcontractor for them. But the list goes on. I have a pretty long list. So if people ask you, you've helped people to grow businesses, did you actually own a business as well? Yes. However, I would like for people to understand that coaching has a low barrier entry. You do not have to be necessarily licensed or certified in order to be a coach. Even though I am certified, I have degrees, but that is not necessary. You don't have to have a degree. You don't have to have certification, but what you do have to have is the ability to help people get to their goals. You do have to have the ability to teach a framework to help people get to their goals, because you've been able to try to implement a framework that has worked for you or that has worked for others. I'm kind of pooping up right there. And so some people have this understanding. They think, oh, well, this person is supposed to be this. This in the West, in the States, we have an issue with people doing well. It's really weird, right? It's when people start doing really well and they seem like they're getting results and they seem like they're doing well with helping other people get pressed and they want to investigate why is it this person is experiencing success. Well, the reason why they're experiencing success is because they're good at what they do. They don't have to live the life that they coach about. You understand? Now, a mentor is somebody completely different. A mentor is someone who has done the work and you want to do what it is that they do. But you want to have them as a resource, not them telling you what to do. So before you open your mouth and ask people to be your mentor, you need to know what that is. That means you have observed this person. You want to do what it is they do, and you want to do it at the level that they have done it, and you want to be able to tap into them as a resource. Okay, coaching is completely different. You don't have to have experience in the field. Patty Stanger is a person that never been married, but she charges 100K for matchmaking services. There's so many different coaches that don't do or have done any of the things that they coach about. And people get very pressed, like, what? But they're good at what they do. What matters is results. I just want to make sure that's clear. Okay. As I know here, again, in the States, we have an issue with, we're very competitive over here, which is unfortunate because we miss so many different opportunities being competitive. Okay. We want people to do well until they start really doing well. And then we got a problem with that. Welcome to the Wild Wild West. Okay. Now, let's get into today's lesson. All right. So we are thinking about where we are in the world, right? So we're in a society. Most of us, from what I see in the chat, that most of us are in the States, okay? Unless you come in and you're like, oh, I'm from London or I'm from wherever, right? Most of us are from the States, all right? So when it comes down to where we are as a society, it's a lot different, right? So it's 5 years post COVID, okay? And one of the things that's coming up is that we're seeing a potential shakeup in the quote unquote Western empire. As I've stated before, if you've been to any one of my lives, you probably heard me say this, and I'm gonna say it again for some of the new people that may be coming in or that are here. The West here in the States is what I call the granddaughter or the grandchild of Roman Empire and the British Empire. They came together and they had a baby. The baby is the United States of America. Okay. It doesn't matter if you are brown, blue, purple, black, white. It doesn't matter. It don't matter. If you're in a system, the West, we're in a hybrid system, which includes but not limited to. This all makes sense because you need to know where you are. A lot of women want to know the woo-woo, but they don't know they don't know their opponent. This is your opponent. Okay. I'm giving you insight to your opponent so that you can understand strategy. Okay. The West thrives on a system that is made up of multi-systems, which includes but not limited to obviously capitalism, social class, race, okay, corporatocracy, socialism. Okay, these are all systems that are in the multi system of this place. Okay, so you're fighting against a system made up of a tethers of systems. Everybody with me? And I'm very interactive, so y'all got to talk back to me. You just can't sit there and we're in masterclass, so you got to give me some hearts. Let me know if you're here. And I know y'all are in it, but we got to have some interaction too. So, because remember, I'm talking to the screen, so I got to see what's going on. Now, this is the reason why here, because of humans with souls, like we're souls with a body, okay? Your body is something that you have. You're a spiritual being. We know that we have some type of soul or something because we've seen or have heard when bodies expire, whatever it is, that body remains here. Okay, the body remains here. The body has to stay here and go through a process to disintegrate in so many ways, while their spirit or their soul really, the soul is the person, the essence of that person. It goes on. Okay, your spirit, however, is the perfection of you. Okay, which we call God. Okay, which we call source or whatever, right? It's the breath that pushes you into life. Your body is only working and moving because of spirit. Spirit is perfection personified within you. Spirit is your inner knowing. Everybody with me? Is this clicking? Spirit, I'm not coming from religion. I'm not coming from this is what the Bible says, this is what the Quran said. I'm not talking about any of them. I'm talking about the actual spiritual essence part of you. Okay, so the spirit is the perfection inner knowing, what we call also intuition, what we call discernment. Everybody has that in them. But here is the kicker. The soul is your personality, your laughter, what makes you mad, or what gets mad, or what laughs when you see a show that's funny, like Martin, because I love Martin. It's all these, what makes you say, "Oh, that was so good. I love that." Like, I love this musical. Like, me and my daughter went to see Hamilton. I have a 17-year-old too. She's sick upstairs. Hamilton. She loves Hamilton. She enjoys Hamilton. That's the soul enjoying Hamilton, right? But also the soul is the essence part of you. Okay. Spirit is what kicks in when the soul gets weary, when the soul gets tired, when the soul wants to possibly give up, or when the soul is confused, and when the soul literally surrenders. Spirit then takes over and says, "Okay, I got it from here," or "This is what you need to do," or da 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 da. This is why it's good to listen and tap into your spirit nature when things seem to go wrong. And when people say things like, "Well, I feel like God is not speaking." Maybe God is just telling you to just chill. Is it really them not speaking? Or is it just you need to probably just chill out? But if there is something that spirit is telling you to do, it'll be a small, subtle voice within that says, "Do this, do that." It will come at a command, but not necessarily a command, because you got to remember, spirit speaks all languages. It don't matter what language. And there is no language. It has to transfer the information into a language that you can understand, but it has to do it in small spurts. Because you got to remember, spirit is outside of time. That's a word right there. I ain't even got knee deep in it. Spirit is outside of time. There is no time in the spirit realm. There is no time outside of this atmosphere. You're cloaked in a greenhouse called a planet that has a barrier. Okay. Let the people say it's a flat earth, or it's a round earth. I don't really care which one it is. I just know I'm on it. So some people like, "Coach, do you think it's flat or do you think it's round?" I really don't care because I'm on it. I really don't care. So, the planet has a greenhouse effect that protects all forms in under this barrier with your oxygen and all of that, right? What has happened over time is that so many people have been born and so many people have been birthed into this system where the system has been birthed to control the masses. The system has been birthed and created to control the mind of the human. You are in a conscious moment in time, which is here in this system, in this world, in this planet. Because and I want you to write somewhere on a piece of paper, you got the world on one side, and then you have the planet on the other side. The world equals system. So systems and world, I'm going to be using them interchangeably. The planet is the mother. That's where all of our resources come from. This is where she doesn't have to be prompted. She just knows herself. The planet is feminine. The world and the systems is the father. Structure, order, containment, obedience, compliance. And look, here it is. The planet is the abundance. Earth, ground. This is why they say that earth, as we see, earth and water are what? Feminine. Pay attention. Fire, which comes from flickering, and the fire can come down from, as they say, fire come down from heaven. These are masculine. Air, fire are masculine elements. Our Father, which art in heaven. Heaven, air, heaven above, mother beneath. I'm gonna show you this is manifestation in action right here. Women have to learn how to master the elements. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Okay. So I'm telling you all this because see, you've heard the new age people talk about 369, all this kind of stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. Nikola Tesla talked about 369. These are numbers, but we're going to do this simply because you have to work with the elements. And a lot of times that's really all it is. When you hear people talk about this is the method I use, and this is the method I use, and this is the method I use, you have all access to all these elements, but you got to learn how to work with them. Because you have these 4 elements, and you also have what's called the ether, which is the invisible realm where all these things have to come through a portal to be materialized into this system, into this world, to be made known. Here we go, though. Here we go. And let me know if I'm, because you got to know this stuff so you can understand. Everything, institutions, systems, corporate, education, marriage, work / business, religion, all of these are institutions. They're made up out of air. It's all air. It's all air. They put a price tag on the planet. They put a price tag on the feminine. For us to access the good of the land, there is a price tag. In the middle, there is called money. It is indifferent. Money does not have any power, any value until you place power and value on it. For example, if I get a $10,000 stack of cash and I put it on the table, just put on the table, dollars, just put it on the table, and I go out of town for a week. Granted that nobody knows about that $10,000 on the table, that's stacked on the table. Nobody messes with it. Nobody breaks in and try to take it. Nobody messes with it. Nobody try to, inch a dollar or two away when I'm gone. I go out of town for a week. If I come back, that $10,000 has not moved. It has the same value than before I left. What does that mean? There is no power in it unless I put power in it. But if I take that $10,000 and I go and take it to the bank and ask the investor or personal bank, or person investment advisor, hey, I need to invest this $10,000 into some stocks or whatever, or do options trading or whatever, they're going to help me. And depending on what stocks they help me choose or whatever, I'm able to either capitalize or I lose the money. Now, because I know that power only over money works when I use it for something of value. It's not the money that you want. It's what's on the other side of the money that you desire. It's the relief and the peace and the excitement and the joy and the opportunities that come on the other side of money. You're into the feeling of it. That's right, Shandira. You want the feeling that money brings to you. So it's not about the money. It's to invoke a feeling of it. What has happened though, money is now digital. Most money is digital. The money that is in quote unquote circulation is 100% digital. It's air. This is why people say, well, money is feminine. No, it is not feminine. It's actually a very masculine concept. It's air. It used to be feminine because it was made of what? Paper. And paper is what? Come from the what? Ground. From trees, right? Right? He said, nope. We want to change it up. Again, war on the feminine. The whole thing is feminine. You need to know your opponent. Your opponent is the masculine. And this is not a feminist concept. I want you to understand there's nothing wrong with loving men. There's nothing wrong. I'm not talking about the man per se. I'm talking about the masculine energetic concept that has been churned and twisted to become the enemy of the feminine in so many ways. And you have to learn how to you need to know how to approach the masculine in a very strategic way as opposed to the emotional way, which is what the woman, the feminine, has been doing for so long, and she's been losing ever since, because you're taught to be infantilized. So the woman, the brain, right? So we know that feminine, when she has not gained time, to develop mentally, she will stay a child. So she will skip over the soul work and hold on to the spirit, because spirit is the only way that she can get anything done, but she don't know how to use it. She don't know how to tap into the spirit. So what happens? The system has something for her called religion. They become the spirit for her. So which means that in order to keep you young, in order to keep you little, and in order to keep you small, in order to keep you in a space of I don't know, and I don't trust myself, so I need to go to him, to air, to fire, and ask for permission when you have everything in you. You women are a complete whole being. Did you know that? Science tells you that. There's two X chromosomes. Complete X. She's a whole and complete being. She doesn't have to go and look for whatever. Everything she has is right here. It's in her DNA. She is a complete whole being. There's nothing that needs to change. She has everything she needs within. That's a reason why. There's a fragment to the XY. And this is not anti-masculine. This is just facts. If you look at it from a biological standpoint, the study did. That's why I say you have to sometimes study this stuff when you get some time. And there's a lot of times we don't have time to study because we are infantilized and we don't know that we're whole and complete. And they don't want you to know that because they need you as a resource. Why is that? Two things women got that the masculine will never, ever have. Number one, wholeness. That's what every woman has. Every woman has it. Even if even if it seems like she ain't got it, even though you're like, girl, get them out. She has wholeness within her. She's just unconscious of it. She may be not knowing of it. She's whole. WHOLE. She's whole. Wholeness. And number two, a womb. Womb, spiritual and physical, she's able to birth out things. Now, what we do know is that women with a womb, if given the opportunity, she is able to birth. How now? What comes? Some things happen where even the womb is under attack because you have the world and systems that pollute and damage the resources of the planet that will break down those womb systems to make it almost impossible for women to carry. It's not your fault. The doctor said, okay. Because sometimes you have to go against systems. But we're not taught to do that. But that's another conversation because I can go on it all day. Everything that the system tells you is wrong with you is not nothing wrong with you. There is something called mental manipulation. It may not be anything wrong with you, but they create something wrong with you by telling you something's wrong with you so that you'll start believing it. And once you start believing it and it take hold to your body, then things start forming. Which is also, let's get to. That's right, Shandir. She said the doctor said it, but what do you believe? Whose report do you believe? Your external. This is a good word. The external is nothing more than results. Your reality is results. It's results from your past. It's results from your prayers. It's results from things that you believe to be true. So everything that's outside of you that is right now in the current moment as I'm talking is the evidence of what was once unseen. And now it's seen. So let me go back to the elements. When we talk about the elements, working with the elements, ground and water are your feminine signs. Everything that we need and have came from where? Comes from where? When you look at the original diet, they have to give you some facts in some of these scriptural texts. That's part of the contract, if you will. They have to give you something. But they have to give you some facts and they have to give you some lies. And decode it. You have to learn how to decode some of this stuff. And that's why a lot of women don't ever come to be. They don't ever come to be. They always come short. And I want you to pay attention to something I'm saying too, is to decode this stuff. Stand back and pause and think before you just say, yeah, girl. Oh, that's what the preacher said. This is what the man said. This is what the prophet has said. This is what this person, even question what I say. Decode and go by way of what is your belief system. So when it comes down to the elements, everything is either air, fire, which are masculine signs, against what? Ground and water, earth and water. Okay, so earth signs are feminine. Why is that? Because the ground is what? And the water is whole and complete. It's when it's unmessed with. Here we go. When it's unmessed with, I'm making up a word here. When there's nothing wrong, it's fine. You can get nutrition. You can get your fruit, your vegetables, water. You don't need no Coke and Sprite. You don't need no lemonade and Kool-Aid. You water is just enough for you to be properly hydrated if it's unmessed with. Amen, somebody. But they also have the ability to fuel something else too. Air and fire. Is air and fire need water and ground. They need and in turn, there's some needing of each other, but not really. If you go back and look at the book of Genesis, how did the ground take care of itself? How did the gardens take care of itself? It was a mist that came out of the earth to water the vegetation. Rain and all that, and fire and all that kind of stuff wasn't necessary. Rain from above and all this, it was not necessary. She was able to self-replenish until rain and winds and all that kind of stuff came into the picture. Now, yes, air, yes, the ecosystem, right? The ecosystem of that Garden of Eden, which was at perfection. She did not need all this extra stuff like tornadoes and hurricanes and all. None of that stuff existed before until air and fire got jealous. That's what I always say. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. They got jealous of the feminine signs and needed to. I want to come down and do some things. That's why pillar of fire, all of that had to come by way of acknowledge and follow me, leading you out of Egypt. I'm talking like Neville Goddard, which is so funny to me. It's leading you out of Egypt. A pillar of fire and the cloud, pillar of cloud by day, pillar of fire by night. And look how long it took them. It took them 40 years to get out. And it was like what, 12 day trip. So now understanding that they had it in them to get there to the promised land, but they needed to be guided by elements, and it took them a longer time to get there. So what does this have to do with money? It has a lot to do with it. Why does it take you the long way to get to what you want as opposed to the shorter way? Because you're in a system in a world that has polluted your mind to believe that you have to do things and show worthiness and value before you get it, which leads you also to believe that you have something lacking, there's something wrong with you, that you have to show proof that you deserve. This is why our expectations are always high for things, and we're always trying to find the lack, and we're trying to find mistakes. We're trying to find what's wrong with this person. I don't like this. There's something about this person. It's always the negative. Because who is worthy to get my hard-earned money? Because I worked so hard for it. Keep that. Look, listen to that. Look, listen to what I just said. You see how that mind stuff go instead of being led to. So, for example, when money is seemingly abundant, when we're told, listen to what I'm saying. When we're told that the economy is this, it's abundant, PPP loans and all this kind of stuff. Everybody got money. Everybody's just frivolously paying for things and investing in themselves, going on trips, enjoying the good life, right? But as soon as things start to quote unquote tighten, that's when everybody starts getting very critical about where they spend their money. When the market starts shifting and they tell us that there is a recession or whatever, people start being a little bit more critical about where they're spending their what money and investing in their money, right? Because they want to make sure they're going to get some type of return. So we're more critical of what we do with the money that we have, which means that a lot of women have even got to a place where I want to invest in this person, but I just don't know if I'm going to get what I want. Why is that? Why do we feel that way? Is because maybe we have invested in the past. We didn't take things seriously, right? We weren't focused. We were distracted. We were going through something, right? And it kept us away from it. We didn't think we could really do it. We saw other people making it happen, and we just kind of sat there and watched other people, right? And now we're getting to a season where we really want to do something, but do we have the bandwidth? Do we have the energetic stance and position to pour into ourselves? Many women will say, no, we will not stop learning, but will we stop implementing things because money is quote unquote air? And we're holding on to order. Money is how we stay stable. The Father is in the money. I have to be provided for. Why do you think women go towards money? People with money. People that look like money. We love it. Because money equals stability to us. Money looks like structure to us. Money looks like I can just be me. Why do you think we like to date people with money, or we look at shows, we look at reality shows where women are about their life and got money and got rich husbands and rich lives and wealth and all this kind of stuff? Why do you think that is? Because money equals stability. Money equals order. So we look at that and we think, I have to outsource my whole and completeness to the Father. Now, okay, here we go. So when it comes down to working with the ether, I'm bringing it back a little bit because I'm trying to walk it through so you can understand how to work with these elements or understand which element you're tapping into. The thing that you want to understand is that consciousness is the way to come back into the reality of the I am. What does that mean? That means taking your awareness from feeling safe and secure in money and becoming safe and secure in oneself. That is where a lot of women drop the ball. A lot of women drop the ball in seeing themselves as safety. A lot of women don't see themselves as safety. We don't feel safe to ourselves because we live in a system that has said you need this in order to feel whole and complete. When in actuality, it is the other way around. Men need us more than we need them. I want you to hear what I just said. If you think that that is the opposite, then I'm going to check your infantilization meter. Because if you're telling me that no, we need men, yeah, we may need men to fix the truck or fix a car or do an oil change or change the tire, or we need men to, but guess what? These are all man-made systems to keep problems around us. The cars are on rough roads. Why can't you live in a place where you can get to and fro in a couple of minutes? Because you have to drive. And driving is a part of the system. Oh no, my tire is flat. I gotta call somebody. Let me call either AAA or call my who, daddy, call my who, my brother, or call my man, or call whoever to come and somebody that know how to fix it, unless you don't know, because I don't know how to do it. I don't change flat tires. I have AAA. I don't do that. So, so that's the only reason why we need them, because of the structure that we have in place. But as soon as you start becoming resourceful, which means what? You use money as a means of providing for yourself. I want you to think about this. I want you to think about everything I'm saying, because it's got to make sense. It's got to click in so many ways. Insurance, emergency service, auto shops, yes, tire shops. All of these things are man-made. It's all man-made. It stands in the absolutely. It's I have to be needed. I just, women have to get this. This is all these, you know what? And this is another thing too. You live in a realm of problems. Jobs. Have to go work. No, you don't have to. Mm-mm. But that's to show worthiness. You need me. You can't just. When I started my business, okay? When I started my business this time, Ellison Consulting is my business. And I lived with my parents. Okay. I've lived on my own before, but this was the first time I had a business that was actually producing full-time income. But I was living with my parents. But it was something in me that was still scared to step out in faith and live on my own. I was still a 15-year-old in my head. Even though I was a grown woman, divorced with a kid. And I remember having these downloads when I wake up in the morning and say, you need to work on your mind. Your mind is keeping you back from growing up. And I began to do the work of researching what this was. Because I'm like, why is it that I can't trust myself? Even though I have evidence that I know how to do what it is I'm doing. And so when it got to a place where I started to do the work and I got, the coaching I needed. And I remember hiring, different coaches after that, like intuitive coaches and all of that, investing money into this. And I remember saying to myself, everything is in me. I did not know who I was as a woman. I knew who I was as a mother. I knew who I was as an aunt. I knew who I was as a coach. I knew who I was as a mentor. But I did not know who I was as a woman, which is the essence of the female. And to be a woman is to be whole and complete in knowing. So it's not about the 1K. It's about knowing that you are entitled to the 1K when you tap into your own consciousness. And the I am is in the woman. There is nothing lacking. And this is why, if you can peep game, when I moved out of my parents' home, people used to ask, when people ask me things like, well, are you married or whatever? Because when they found out that I said, I'm a stay-at-home mom. And they would look at my hand. Like, people would literally look at my hand and say, oh, you married? It's like, no. I own my own business. I work from home. I'm a stay-at-home mom. And they'd be like, and they would get intrigued. And then it would be something in them to pursue me. And it would be conquering. And I started to peep it. I said, this is very different. It's something about this woman that I don't like. She needs to, it's almost like a string of understanding between the masculines. That there is something in them that look at a woman who knows how to take care of herself. And it literally is something that turns on in them and says, I need to get her back in her place. She needs to need me. Now, this is no way, shape, form, or fashion shade to anyone who is married. But I will tell you this, if you are. If you're a woman, you probably need to go into another room. Because I've been a wife before. And I'm going to tell you this. If you want to get control without you having to open your mouth, you have to get back into your consciousness and you have to get back into your essence. You need to become the dream girl that your husband never seen before. You need to become the it girl. You need to become the muse that he wish he could tap into, especially if your husband ain't. You need to be able to have it to where. Y'all let me know if you in another room. Because your husband listening to this, he's gonna be like, what'd she say? Be the muse. Be the siren. And see, I'm a siren. Don't let the glasses fool you. I know how to turn it on. Don't let the sweatshirt fool you. Don't let the hoodie fool you. I remember a woman, it's this, I forgot her name on TikTok. She's something siren. She has a popular account. And I commented on her post. And she said, something, I said, thank you for this or something. And she said, you're welcome, siren. And I said, how did you know? And she came to my inbox and she said, I can tell. I went to your page and I saw your eyes. And I said, that's a whole nother conversation. That's a whole nother live. But the thing is that you can get what you want. Yes, Shandira. She said, as a married woman, she ain't lying. I became my own world and the good. I'm telling you, you can get a lot of stuff done when you become the muse and you become the siren in your marriage, in your relationship. Even if you're with someone, you become that. You have to know when to turn it on, and you have to know when to turn it a different way. You need to practice being the doe with doe eyes. Everything the woman represents is essence and consciousness and the I am. This is why they say that when men manifest, when men want to manifest, they use the body of a woman. Why is that? Why? Because she is the closest thing to God. Her womb is tilted towards the heavens. It's towards source. The access to God is through the woman's womb. They need that. And when men can't get that because it costs to get that. Listen to what I'm saying. It costs to have access to that. This is why when men have a good woman and they know that she's good and that she can get things done, you become the muse. He will bring you offerings. He will bring you things. He will bring sacrifice, like whatever he has to do to please the mother. So it's switcheroo. It's a switcheroo. This is coming from somebody. I'm not dating anybody. I'm not in a relationship. I'm not single. I'm not single. I am single. I'm not in a relationship. I'm not engaged. Nothing. I'm not seeing any. When I say my phone is dry, it is dry. And it is that way because I made it that way. Getting men is easy. It's really easy. My ex trying to take me on a hike. There's a cost for that. It's literally says men need women, but women need women, but not you. There's a plethora. Absolutely. 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 You can turn it on and turn it off. So when it comes down to money, money is also easy. It's just the fact of women look at money as structure and order and fear and scarcity. This is why you have women that will compete for men. They will compete, that just look at it as money. They're in there, and see, we'll say that they're in their masculine. No, it's just this a woman that has not been developed. Because when a woman sees anything outside of her that she can't establish within herself, she will always look outside of herself, and she tries to find her father in other things, including people. This is why it is so important to understand, and and money is just that part. I'm looking for the father. Holding on. Okala said, I'm not dating, but men have been sending gifts to it. I'm telling, when you get still, you can start even manifesting gifts. Like you can just say, I deserve gifts from strangers, from men that want to be kind to me, to people that want to be kind to me. You can start saying that I deserve gifts. I deserve gifts. I deserve money. I deserve You can, and you know what? Even if you struggle with manifesting money, you know what you can start with? I deserve. I deserve people open up the doors for me every time I walk out of the store or anytime people rush. You have to put feeling behind it. People rush to come to my assistance and my aid. Even down to just going to the store. They're always rushing to help me. Not that I need help, but you want to see evidence of you not having to do a whole lot of stuff in order to get what you want. That's a representation of the I am. I wish y'all would hear what I'm saying. I want y'all to get this. Because it's money is the byproduct of a system that wants to keep you in. Now I have to I gotta do this. I have to do this. Mm, mm, mm. Because when you are knowing who you are, you have to get back into who you are. Anytime I say, um, I'm going to do it, it's going to give me 3 days. It don't take but 3 days, 3 days or less to get anything you want. Did y'all know that? Write that down. It takes, listen, three days or less to get whatever you want. It has to be made, man. It has to be materialized. And I mean that. Literally 3 days. 3 days. Anything you want. The reason why it takes longer is because you're in and out of consciousness. That's why imagination is so important. That's when you're working with the ether now. When you're working with your mind, you start to use your imagination. Your imagination is the subconscious, is rooted in the subconscious to reroute that, to reprogram that. This is literally when you want to manifest anything, it's going to come with imagination. Visualization is just it's the mental images, right? It's the mental pictures. And you have to spend time doing that more than you do work, 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 work. This is why it's good to go and test drive cars. This is why it's good to go and look in houses that you would love to purchase soon. This is why it's good to um, be given gifts because you need to know what it's like. You need to have the senses to engage, but you also can do this without test driving and stuff like that. 'Cause I've manifested stuff without having to test drive and go look into places. I've been able to do that. It is very necessary that you learn how to just know, not believe, but you know that you're entitled. Now, work is preparation of the vessels. Whew, that was good. The only work that you're supposed to be doing per se is preparing the vessels to receive. So the way to receive money for women is to do what? Is to have buckets and vessels and a place for the money to land. Because if you don't have a business or you don't have anywhere for the money to land, guess what it has to happen? Your body has to be used. Or you're going to have to think you're that worthy enough or that good enough to manifest without these things. But the best way is through owning over. You become the mother over a business. Chief executive officer. I am chief executive, which is your you make the ultimate decision of your company, of your business. And whatever you say goes. However, it can be greatly impacted if number one, you don't prepare your vessels. For example, I'm just gonna give you an example. Book a monetization sessions, a monetization mapping session is pen. That is a vessel. So if women want to step into order to get another order, which gives order to whatever they want order to, they step into an offer to learn how to trust themselves to go to the other side. They know, but see, clarity is where women mess up at, because clarity and trust is very important to women. If she doesn't feel clear and she don't trust, she's not going to do. That's where the disconnect sometimes will come in. So what happens when this woman says, if I want to manifest this? A lot of times she doesn't trust herself because she's looking at everything. She's outsourcing her faith. She needs other people and needs to see other people doing this. And what if? It's always a what if. What if it doesn't work? Because this person over here is doing it. But we're looking at someone's now. Like, for example, everybody knows about Alex Hermosi. I know. We've been talking. If you don't know who that is, just look on everybody's Facebook that's in business. Alex Hermosi. I've been seeing this man come on the scene years and years and years ago. It was probably 3 or 4 years ago. And he's been heavily marketing for those 3 or 4 years. He completely, when I say from now, versus when he first started online like this, completely different. This is why I celebrate that. I said nobody can make me hate this man, because I've seen him come on the scene first. 2 years ago, he had a book launch, and it was really good. It was nothing compared to this. What's the whole point I'm trying to say? The people that are going off and saying, "Oh, I wouldn't do it like that," and this is very masculine, and it's very this, it's very that. What he did was take the fundamental principles of what we all should be doing in business, is first of all talking to our audience and getting data. How many of y'all that work with me, how many times you've heard me say that? You need data. That monetization mapping session that I have that is open is for data. It's not for anything else. I want data, right? Same thing. When you sign up for this class, data. This chat over here is data. You're supposed to be getting data to make your business better and to make your offers better and to make your content better. That's exactly what he did for 2-3 years straight without selling anything. He sold things, but it was on the back end of things, like different he was paid for speaking engagements and workshops and things like that, sometimes one-on-one sessions or group sessions with some, premier or not premier, I'm sorry, elite business owners that was making like $1 million or more, etc. Then he went all the way now and broke records. And who's by his side? His wife. His wife also has a brand. She changed her appearance. If you remember Layla, before she did her work, she, and I love it for her. I say do whatever you want to do. Because I promise you, if I could get up under somebody's getting some Botox up here, give me some, chisels, and I'd get chisels too. But what people are looking at is the work, the sowing of the seeds, the law of agriculture, the law of cause and effect. We see the effect. A lot of people just now coming up in business didn't see this man come up the ranks years ago. A lot of people missed it. So they're looking at him now and criticizing Well, he already has this and he already has it. And that's another thing. We look at his race and we look at his, oh, well, he's, man, and it's just because he's, no, that boy didn't come from it. He didn't have no money. See, what you have to look at it, every some people on the same level playing field. And even if you're this or brown or whatever, you can navigate spiritually through whatever you want to navigate spiritually through. You just need to learn how to tap in. Because if you feel that way, that just because he's this and he's a man and then you'll never get. But look who he has by his side. He has a woman. And actually, he gives credit to her. He said, my business really didn't take off until me and her got married. Me and her, when she came into my life, she saved my life in so many ways. And my business didn't pick up until she came in. Women are favored. Y'all don't get on my nerves because you are favor. You are money. Women are money. Did you know? I could really end the class right there. Women are money. Women are wealth. Why do you think they want to roll back all this stuff? We control what? What's the second thing I told you? The womb. There's no wealth without people. Y'all better go on somewhere. Y'all better go on somewhere. Ideas come from who? Usually women. When men will look at a woman that knows her power and go to her for information. The ether. The I am is consciousness. I am, you are enough as you are. It ain't about being a witch. It ain't about being a goddess. It ain't about being a siren. It's not even about being all this other stuff that we be making up just to feel empowered. I am is the I am. The only ones who really don't understand that are people that are undeveloped. Wealth is in people. There's no wealth without people. There's no wealth without people. So what you need to do reality equals past thoughts and belief. If you truly believed or felt something earlier, then your present is an echo of that energy. So all of your memories, if you're continuously thinking of the past, if you're consistently thinking about what things used to be, you're not allowing yourself to be in your I amness, because your I amness can always create something new. Behold, I make all things new. Have you not seen it? Can you not perceive it? Jay, break it down. Behold, I make all things new. The present moment makes things new. If you don't like your situation, Make something new in the now. The woman can do that very, very beautifully. Now, I'm not saying the men cannot, but women need to understand that yes, you can. Your life right now is literally a sculpture of yesterday's convictions, the feelings that you committed to, and the future that you actually imagined. So you were convinced. So it's not about believing, it's about what are you convinced of? What are you perceived? What do you perceive? What do you know? What emotions sparked that reshaped your neural pathway, your filters of attention, and shaped the moment for the future to come in? The power of the brain is by way of the mind. The mind is the brain in action, in real time action. I had to read this from. So how do I get there, Jay? So you got the beta waves. Need you to know this. Your brain, the beta waves, the brain is very, very impressionable. It's mushy for a reason. It's mushy for a reason. I'm getting ready to close. It's very impressionable. So, but it has the ability to be molded even as you get older. But as you get older, it can become less impressionable because of the fixed mindsets that we have. Our risk taking becomes lower and lower over time because we gain more responsibilities. But you need to always remain, and I want to make sure I say this clearly, you need to always be able to tap into what they call the inner child when you want to. The inner child is a companion. It is not trauma. It's a companion to the imagination. The child is imagination. Everybody with me? You have to come as a child. That is where you play. It is where you play make believe. You act as if. You pretend in your mind. That's not a lie unless you make it a lie. Some of you have dreamed of being in homes and places and you stop it because you don't let the spirit pick up what you need to do next. You just stay in the it would be nice realm. It would be okay. Oh, I hope something like that. But girl, by the time everything you said before but becomes a lie. The only reason why I can't do that is because, well, I would do it, but what? Instead of saying, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. And I'm not going to say anything because I'm going to keep the child in me still. And we're going to do this. I'm going to get still and ask spirit, what do I do next? What do I need to do? Or what task, what action should I take next? Inspired action is spirit's way of telling you, I want you over here to be busy while I bring this through. Like it's almost like go play. This is why when we do inspired action, it could be creating something. It could be having a fun conversation with somebody. It's just something you're led to do. It's intuitive. This is why I tell people like the reason why you don't or can't do anything is because you're telling yourself that you can't. Because you don't have time to sit down and get back here. Everything I've manifested in my life is a byproduct of me saying, I'll be right back. I want this. I'll be right back. If I didn't want it, I would tell people I I would do that. It's just, and I already knew when I would hear it come out of my mouth, I'd be like, you don't want it for real. Because when have you ever deprived yourself of doing or wanting or getting something that you actually wanted? When have you ever deprived yourself of that? Never. If I say I want to go on a trip, I would just say, we're going. And the universe will open up a way for us to go. Like, it would be this simple. I'd be like, we're going, and this is the decision. That's why I said decision. God honors decision. You need to write that down. Inspired action is not labor. There's a difference. There's a difference. Anytime you want to do anything and you say, Spirit, what do I do next? You have to sit there and listen. The reason why a lot of y'all can't sit and listen is because you're not breathing. That's another thing. How do you tap into the I amness? Have you ever noticed that when you do breath work, you get a little high? It's the only high that you need to receive. Everything else, this is why it's not good to take in too many depressants and all this kind of stuff, and hookah and all whatever they be doing out here and drinking and all this stuff, because we're trying to escape a reality instead of tending to reality. So when it comes down to your body, you got to do, and women, I'm gonna tell you this, I just saw Quenisha's comment. Breath work should be a part of your everyday, because as a woman, you have to tap back into that, to the I am. That's the one of the best ways to tap into the I amness, is to not bring any judgment to that. You sit and do breath work, and it's not about manifesting, oh, I need money. No, it's literally about manifesting who you are right now, and that there is nothing that needs to be pulled in deserving of. You just need to step into the I am and not bring judgment to that, because to get money or to get opportunities or to get clients, there's nothing that you need to be judged for. You don't need any judgment coming up. That's the reason why I'm telling y'all, you got to tap in the I am. There is no judgment from there. You don't need to be judged. And see, you start judging yourself when you start putting conditions on it. When you start saying, I'm going to do it, it's just that I have to. I got to wait. I'm still healing. What does that have to do with what you want? So you're telling me that because you're sick, because you say you're sick, when you say you're healing, that means you're sick. So you're too sick to get that. What? Who told you were sick? What are you healing from? What, a breakup? I told you men are easy. What are you talking about? You just didn't know what you were doing. You didn't know what you were getting into. What are you healing from? You didn't sick. And they didn't went on doing whatever they want. There's no judgment. Okay. Broke up. We're moving on. You don't bring judgment to the I am. It's simple. Okay. Here we go. States, brainwaves. Beta state. Beta state is where you don't want to be. Beta is your everyday brain. Let me just write this down. Your beta state is planning, thinking, always alert. It's too noisy in the beta state. This is why beta men, right there, thinking, over analyzing. What can this woman do for me? I need her to cook, clean, the basic. The beta is basic. You need to just put parentheses basic. Anybody that think basic, got a basic life, that think basic, they are in their permanent beta state. Thank you, Christina. Welcome, welcome, welcome. That is a person that is stuck in a basic state of mind. Beta stands for basic. You can't manifest in a beta state of mind. I'm telling you right now, if you think you can, that's why you are always, when women need logic and proof, and can you show me? Can you? I don't know if I see. I just don't. You're beta. That's beta. And usually beta women have beta experiences. Let's go to alpha. Alpha, 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 alpha. That's the gateway. That's the gateway. So it's calm. It's the present. That's where your I am is. That's when you kind of sit in the state of alpha. That's alpha brain waves. It's the gateway. It bridges conscious thought, which is beta, conscious thought, and subconscious acceptance. So this is why what meditation does. When you get to breath work and you start to feel that little high, breath work gets you a little bit lit. Why is that? Because you enter your brain, your body. Let me go back. Your body is a vessel in itself, right? But your body is tied to your brain. Your body becomes your brain. The emotions that you feel are your thoughts that your brain has accepted as true. And your body responds with emotion. It's physiological responses. So when you start to feel your shoulders tense up, when you start to feel your locked jaw, mm-hmm. And I'm gonna tell you this: you don't need to manifest. I mean, no manifest. You don't need to meditate for anything less than 30 minutes. I'm telling you, that's probably the hardest thing because your brain needs time to sift through all those thoughts. All those thoughts are gonna help. So if you say I'm gonna meditate for 15 minutes, it's too short. You need to 30 minutes, at least 30 minutes. I would say at least, because you have to keep yourself, but you cannot fall asleep. You're in between, you're going back to the state between waking up in the morning and fully being awake. So when you're between sleep and fully conscious awake, once you get 30 minutes is when your brain actually starts to move into alpha state. This is why it's also good when you go to sleep, when you take naps, you have to be careful that you don't go into deep sleep because that's when you wake up lethargic. So 20 minutes of sleep push you in the alpha brain. You kind of move out of alpha and then you'll go into deeper sleep and you got to stop. You got to wake up because and this is why when you take a 20 to 25-minute nap, uh, um, you feel a little bit more energetic. You don't feel like, oh, I feel so dry. That's a person that has slept too long because you have states of sleep. You can't sleep too long because your brain goes in and out of different sleep states. But when you are meditating, and I want y'all to listen to what I said. I didn't say 30 minutes max. I said you need to meditate no less than 30. That's the part y'all ain't hearing. Y'all saying up to 30. I said 30 minutes is when it start crack-a-lacking. So 30 minutes is the start. 30, it take 30 minutes for your brain to calm down. Y'all got to hear what I'm saying. And yes, you can do that. Train yourself how to sit still. What do I mean by train? Okay. Am I back? Am I back? I don't know what happened. That was weird. Okay, you're back. Yay. Okay. I didn't have to start it over, so that's good. That's good. Oh, that was weird. Okay. See, when I start getting real good, stuff just see realm of problems, realm of problems. So back into the alpha state. So alpha state is when we are in the calm and present state. Because you have to keep your mind. Your mind is your personality. And you have to get your mind to get still so that it can receive new information from spirit. Does everybody is it because you can't because the only information, this is gonna be good right here. This is good. It's gonna bless you. The reason why a lot of us keep having the same experiences over and over and over again because we are still living off of a past. In order for us to get new information, the mind has to calm down, which means that you have to get into a present state and get into the gateway state so that your mind can get new information. To make things new, your spirit has to give you new information. This is the reason why it takes 30 minutes. It used to didn't take that long to get your mind still. Now it does because your mind has more experiences of things, of trauma, of back and forth with it with itself. And if you're older, you probably need to do 45. Just think of it like this: for a child to get, because I know if you have a child of or with someone that's not in the house with you, and it's by your ex or somebody, and when your child was little and they used to probably go over to that person's house and then they would come back and then they would be all crazy until you settle them back into your routine because when they were over there, okay, like my daughter, she used to go over her dad's house and she, whatever she would do. Then when she got back here, it took me 2 to 3 days to get her back situated to this place. You know what I'm saying? Like it took her to get back into a state of normalcy because she was doing whatever she wanted to do over there. So then she brought that same consciousness over here. And I said, no, I got to get her back on track because you didn't. So think of it like that. Your inner child is, I'm thinking about all this stuff and I got to do this and I need to do, I should probably send this email. I should probably do this before. Oh, my nose is itching. Oh, I should have tied my hair up. Oh, I should have did this with my ponytail. Oh, I should have did this before I lay down. Oh my gosh, I forgot to wash my clothes. Oh, I could have really put this stuff in the dryer before I sat there and meditated. Why didn't I think of that? Oh, I gotta, do this, do that. I should probably text somebody. Oh, I need to put my phone on D&D. All these things your mind got to go through before it say, okay, shut your mouth, sit down. Think about that. Breath work is to get your body into alpha state. Did that make sense? What you want to do is get your mind into a relaxed enough state so it can go into where? Theta. That's when I'm really in the zone. Access to imagination. When you were a child from 0 to 7 years old, your brain was in a theta state. This is why people love children. The institutions love children. You get them right where you want them, right there in the theta, and they know that. Children are very impressionable for their mother, their father, the world around them, their teachers, educators, environment, trauma, all this kind of stuff is in the first 7 years. Y'all with me? They even call the theta state the twilight zone. If you're not careful, it can become a twilight zone because, but that is the place where you become when when y'all get downloads, when y'all say I got spiritual downloads, think about what state were you in when that happened. And theta is the place where you're going into sleep. You're not there yet. You're going into. But in meditation, you got to train yourself to not sleep. Now, here we go. After theta, then we go into delta, which is sleep. It's the changing over. You're going into the astral realm in so many ways. The conscious mind is offline. The conscious mind is sleep. That's when you go to sleep. Everybody, y'all got me? The body goes into repair. Subliminals. That's where, like when you go to sleep at night, it's good to go to bed to subliminals. Listen to what I just said. Okay. When I'm in the delta state, think about hypnosis. Think about the subliminals that we, all of that. That's really digging. That's deep sleep. This is why, like I said, it is good for you to go into that state if you want your conscious mind to which is the astral, this is where astral projecting take, not in the delta, more in the alpha. Okay, so here is gamma. The gamma state is peak awareness. There's a couple of things with the gamma. Gamma is orgasmic. Gamma is where you tap into God. It's bliss. Listen to what I just said. It's the place where you tap into bliss. It's the mystical experience. It's also, like I said, it's orgasmic. This is the reason why this gamma equals God. This is why men be needing you. And if and both the masculine and feminine can receive this. So let's say, I'm gonna tell you how you know you're using it right. When a man has an intent to tap in and uses the woman for that, his life gets better. He starts to get more opportunities. He gets downloads instantly like that. And they just start popping in. Now, guess who's tired? Guess who's more tired? The woman. The woman is probably more tired. But if the man get up and he be having all these ideas and and talking your ear off, and you be like, I'm tired, I want to go to sleep. That's a tapping of your energy. Other way around is when you want to manifest. That's I'm teaching S magic in so many ways. Which you say, no wonder why they want to make you have your moment before the end. Mm-hmm. Yep. This is why anytime you're participating in activities such as, adult activities, you need to have an intent going in. Especially if you have a partner that cares about you getting your euphoria. If you have a partner that don't care and they just start going, then he don't care nothing about what you got going on. That's why I say you got to be careful about who you link up with, because if you're always the one drained, your life is about to loop and it's going to go downward. And his is going up. That's why I said sometimes you got to be careful, because he shouldn't be, you should be getting something and he's supposed to care. Now, if he always the one sleep, and the woman just get up and she create a course, she do this, that, guess what happens? He be like, how you able to do all that? You ain't sleep. I'm finna get up and been and clean the whole house up. You didn't meal prepped and made a course and made this and got a client, like all kinds of things just start happening because you know how to tap in. You knew how to tap the gamma. You got the gamma. That's the gamma state. And it's quick. It's peak. It's the also it's the aha moment. When you be like, why did I know that? That was so good. That was so good. It's the same level, the same gamma. If you listen to somebody and they say something like, and it's like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe I didn't know that. Like that is so good. I needed to hear that. That's the neural pathways forming. That is in the gamma, the peak awareness. Is insight. You get information from the spirit realm. There's more than one way. Your nervous system instantly. That's why I said don't do things like that just to go to sleep. Even if you're doing things alone, don't, you know what I mean? Don't go in without some type of intent. Because if you go in with that and you don't have an intent, or you don't have anything you want to bring through or put into your nervous system, is not going to shift. It's going to just go to sleep, and it'll be a waste of time. It's just like when people get drunk or they, do whatever it is they do, when they go and do all these mushrooms and all this kind of stuff, and they come back and their life is still, because they went up, but they didn't get anything. I have to be careful when I say things. They went up to the mountain, and they went up, look, Mount Sinai, and didn't get any information. They didn't go and talk to God. You're supposed to go up the mountain, up the peak, and come back with information. That's when you tap into, it's almost like you're going past the ether. You're going up. That's the mystical part where you like, I don't know what it's almost like I went up to the universe. When you hear men say stuff like that, when you hear people say that, like it's like I just had a spiritual experience or something. First of all, pop your collar. Because you a bad mamma jamma if you get somebody to do that. Because their life is about to change and they probably in love. Or you got them sprung. I'm just trying to tell you. And usually that's when it's like, this woman ain't going nowhere. And his life get better as a result. See, women, y'all got to see, that's a whole nother class. Women, you got to be able to help. And if you with somebody and it's like, oh, it's just so, no, you is so, pick that up. Get yourself together. Because you don't play with that. The body sees 1K differently because of 100K, because of the nervous system. If your subconscious blueprint says, I can handle 1K, but it panics over 10K or it panics over 100K, then you'll sabotage your higher level. So you need to enter into the alpha state and going into theta. Okay. Rehearse the feeling of what it would be like to get 1K. Manifest the feeling of 1K. You can start there and know that there is no judgment that comes with or conditions that come with that 1K. You are entitled to 1K at any, like, even if you start telling yourself 1K a day. I am entitled to 1K a day. Before bed, when you're getting ready, when you're getting tired, or just waking up, you're in the theta state, close your eyes. Picture 1K arriving on your screen, whether it's through Stand Store or a Stripe invoice or whatever. Just picture whatever amount of money that you want to see come through arriving in your account and feel gratitude like it already happened. Settle into that feeling. Don't put any condition. Don't start saying what you need to do. I need to get up and do some content. Just settle in the knowing that that is enough. Breathe into your state until your body actually is calm and not anxious about what you need to do. Everybody with me. That's literally it. Look at it from this standpoint. It's already done. And it's already available outside of myself. I don't have to prove myself. I don't have to push. And you know what, Quenisha, even the asking is, you don't even have to ask. It's the knowing. Nobody asks. Like, the people who are in the wealthy spaces never ask for anything. They just know. That's why I said, like, even the asking part, like, y'all need to stop saying that. I ask. You ask by knowing. You don't need to ask for anything when it's readily available. I just went over like the planet. You don't have to ask for fruit. You have to ask. You have to tap into the system, but you override that. Everything can be overrode. They put this stuff in front of you to keep you in the space of asking and judgment. Well, you don't have enough skills. Well, you don't have enough this. Oh, well, you don't have the look. This is why women love to run to things that seem as if and get God, because it's not what spirit said to do. Okay. So y'all, you have the ability to just know. And you can't, you gotta understand it knowing comes with it. You don't need conditions. There's no conditions that come with it. So what I want y'all to do, and this homework, you need to meditate. You need to get into alpha state, and you need to probably practice 2 to 3 times a day. You need to set an alarm. Do not feel like you have to have all these different gadgets and stones. And there's nothing wrong with there's nothing wrong with crystals and stuff like that. But I want you to get to a place where your mind and your mouth is enough. And even just your mind, you just something, your mind is enough. You just have to settle into the right state to receive. You can override this whole thing, but you got to stop putting conditions and looking for the next thing and the next thing and the next thing and what's the end thing, and this ain't working because you haven't stopped and practiced. These things have to be practiced. These things have. This is why sometimes you got to be careful when people still wear all these crystals. Talking about they're protected, but they're the ones that's the meanest. They're the meanest people. Most people that wear all this stuff, they're probably the meanest. Like, how are you protecting yourself when you're the one being mean? It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Anyway, you need to do that 3 times, 2 to 3 times a day, morning, night, and maybe find time in between when you start to feel yourself getting antsy about things. Pause and know that whatever it is that you desire is now. It doesn't need labor. It only needs your belief or knowing, conviction, understanding. It is what it is because it's mine by divine right, by divine birthright. These systems put these barriers in front of me to keep me from knowing my divine worth. I know who I am. I don't have to prove myself. The system wants me to prove to get back to myself. No. That's why men are panicking, because women know their power. The feminine is rising up. We know they're panicking. Let's roll everything back so we can put this in place again, because women are waking up, or the feminine is waking up, because you don't even men waking up too that are allowing their feminine to rise up, because both genders have both energies. It's in you, right? Right. And even emotions, and I think I don't know if Kyle is here, but yes, the future does not exist. I want you to write that down. The future does not exist. How many times have y'all heard me say that? The future has to be created. It does not exist. An hour from now, quote unquote, does not exist. Every moment you are creating the future. You have to stay in the now in order to create the future. And it is happened in the eternal now. Okay? Everything I just told you was very simple. Now watch y'all overthink that. Okay, now what? Okay, did you say 30 minutes, or did you say, can I just do 40? Stop. That's your nervous system panicking because it needs another something of reassurance. Stop. Because I know how we are. I be getting all kinds of DMs. Okay, so let me just make sure I'm clear. No, you are clear. Do exactly what I told you. It's not going to happen if you don't let it happen. Tell your body to get still. Stop doing that. That's your analytical mind. It's going back to beta. You're trying to find another way to stay beta. This is not beta stuff. This is not beta behavior. I just need you. I need to write this down. No, you don't need to write down. Not all the time. You need to just do it. I'm going to meditate on this. Meditate on what? Just do it. You need your beta behavior. You need your beta to stand up. The beta is not going to stand up. You're overthinking. Every time you get to overthink about stuff, you need to remind yourself, okay, that is beta. That's beta behavior. I'm in my beta state and I need to stop. There's something wrong. I need to get out of beta because I'm being a beta woman. And there's nothing divine that comes to a beta woman. Nothing happens divinely to a beta woman. Did y'all hear that? You don't tap nothing divine when you're in your beta state. That is overthinking by default. You're thinking like a man. You're thinking like a man when you're in the beta state. So, when a man stops you or somebody stops you and say, well, maybe we need to wait, beta. And what you need to do is go within and get what you want. And then he's going to behave or they're going to behave. Whoever you with, they're going to behave. And he's going to say yes. They're going to say yes. And you ain't even got to open your mouth. So I'm trying this new technique and I'm trying to do this and I'm trying to have this and I went and bought this. You are enough. Okay. That's literally, that's it. Because you got to be careful who you share energies with. And I'm going to tell you this too before I close. You be careful of listening to people say that you can't do something. Well, we ain't got enough money for that. Okay. You need to learn how to override that person's command with your mind. Don't even say nothing. Don't you know you become, this is why when women get quiet, when somebody say something, when somebody say something to you and they be wanting to get a reaction out of you, pause. They don't know what you're saying. They don't know what you're thinking. That's the scariest part to be. You are you're looked at as a force to be reckoned with when all you have to do is pause. And don't walk away. They be like, what? Okay. I'm hoping that y'all enjoyed this class. I'm hoping that you enjoyed this class. If you want to work with me, just book a call and we sit down for 2 hours to go over your offers and your messaging and get your mind together. That's customized to help you with your mind, to help you with customizable beliefs. Because that's where a lot of the magic comes in. All right. Love y'all so much. Have a great rest of your, what is this, Tuesday? And I'll talk to y'all soon. Take care. Bye.